Welcome to the Dray way. Yes, we are counting down. We are just 26 days away from the election. Can you believe it? 26 days away. And I can't thank you guys enough for joining the show and for checking it out every day. You guys have been an absolute blessing. And when I say you guys, for a minute, I got to just talk about the guys out there. Guys, thanks for joining the show. I know I don't do a shout out to just the men very often, but you guys that are following me, I really, really appreciate you. Not that I don't appreciate the women too, but sometimes you got to call out the guys and say, hey guys, I really appreciate you following. It means a lot. Thanks a lot. But we have a big show. We have a lot to talk about. We have probably too much to talk about. And when I say that, we got to talk about the election afterwards. We've been talking about, what about this state? What about that state? What happens here? What happens there? We've been doing all of that. You know what we haven't been doing? What about afterwards? Have you even given it a thought? Let me know in the comments if you've even thought about. I want to see your comments and see what you guys have to say. Have you even thought about what happens after the election? Because, like I just said, we've talked a lot about what's coming up, what's going to be done as far as, what state's going to go this way, what state's going to go that way, but what we have to stop and consider, wait a minute, let's think about this now. What happens after the election? What do you think is going to happen? And the reason I'm asking you that is this, all right? Donald Trump is going to lose this election. And I know that's going to upset a lot of you. A lot of you are going to be like, no, he's going to win. He's going to pull it out. But see, every time somebody says to me, I think Donald Trump's going to win, I ask them the same exact thing. I say, how? With who? Who is it you think is voting for Donald Trump? Because we can break it down by groups, right? We can break it down this group versus this group versus this group. In other words, we already know women all by themselves, which more women vote than men, but women by 11 or 12 points are voting for Harris over Trump. That's a pretty big spread. Now, do you know what the spread is on men? It's just 5 points. That's it. The only thing Donald Trump is winning with is white men. That's it. He's not winning with men of color. He's not winning with women. He's not winning with women of color. He's not winning with older people over 65. And he's getting absolutely crushed with people 18 to 29. Yeah, people 18 to 29, he's losing badly. We're talking 30-some points. So where is he going to get these votes from to win? From who when so many groups are voting against him? It's just a very, very tough road to toe. And if you saw my video yesterday, when you break down state by state by state, his path is extremely difficult because he runs into a lot of youth vote, black vote, and he runs into a lot of cities that are just too big. Like, for example, Atlanta and Georgia, it's just too big now. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. She's going to net 650,000 votes out. It's just too big. It's too much. And he can't overcome those numbers. So my question is to you. Now I want you to think about this. What happens with MAGA? I mean, when Donald Trump loses this election in 26 days, he's done. That's it. He's finished. He's not running again. It's over with. So what happens with MAGA? What happens with all the followers? What happens, and I'm going to dare say it, what happens with all the hate? Yeah, I said it. What happens with all the hate? Because Donald Trump, especially in the last few months, his whole campaign has been about hate. It's been about hate and lying over and over and over again. You know, we need to hate this group of people. We need to hate that group of people. It's just not an inclusive campaign, is it? You don't feel like the Donald Trump campaign is trying to bring in more people. It's trying to segment different people. Put them in different... Yeah, it's not working, is my point. So, what happens with all that? What happens? Do they all just kind of drift into what is that Homer Simpson did into the hedges? Did they just kind of drift back into Nowheresville? You know, because it's got to go somewhere. Now, does it go to a person? Does it go to someone else? Does someone else become the new de facto leader? I want you to think about this, and I want you to comment, because I really want to know. Especially if you are a Republican, you probably have the answer for me. I mean, tell me, where do you go from here? I know you think he's going to win, but after he loses, where does MAGA go? Where does the whole thing, does it dissipate? Does it disappear? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, though, because this is something I've been thinking about for the last few days, because there's a winner in an election and there's a loser. And when you do the breakdown, when you look at the numbers, when you just simply look at the numbers, Donald Trump doesn't have a path to 270, and he's going to lose this election. And I want to know where all this MAGA energy, because even though it's not enough to win an election, there's still a huge group of people that are like, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Where does all that energy go? Let me know in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm very glad you're here. We got a lot more to talk about. Stick around. All right, this is what I want to talk about. This is really what I want to talk about, because so many of you are asking me questions about it. I think we better break it down a little bit, because I think it's going to be one of those. I am not going to, in all likelihood, I'm not going to call it for Harris or for Trump. I'm not even going to, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to leave Florida blank. Because I truly believe Florida is literally a coin toss. And I know you're sitting there going, well, how can you say that based on the votes in 2020? And you're right. You know, just based on those facts alone, you would be right. But there has been a huge number of voter registration, and a lot of those are young people. And I think the voter turnout for Democrats in Florida is going to be record-breaking. And I think it's going to be record-breaking because abortion is on the table, and the legalizing of marijuana is on the table. And with those two things being put on the table, I think that's going to greatly affect how many people show up. And I've said this 100 times. I cannot believe how many times I've said this. We all know what happens in Broward County. We all know the Broward County is going to be a huge number for Florida. But over the past election cycles, the place that has been kind of disappointing from a Democrat standpoint are the numbers out of Orlando. But I think those numbers are going to greatly change, because the women the women that have registered and the black vote that has registered in Orlando has absolutely surged. And if we can get that vote to come out in Central Florida, I think that could make a huge difference in the election. So there are certain areas I want you to watch. I want you to, of course, watch the vote out of Broward County. Of course, I want you to watch the vote out of the Orlando area. And I want you to watch the vote count out of Jacksonville, Florida. I think I think those 3 areas are going to have a huge increase in the number of votes. And can it make the difference? I think it's going to be so close. I really, really think it's going to be close. And she's really close to him in the Senate seat. The Senate race is going to be, I would love to see Rick Scott lose a race. I would love, Rick Scott is not a nice person. Rick Scott is, how that guy wins elections, I don't know how anyone votes for him. I really don't. But he consistently has people show up and people vote for him for some reason. But let me know what you guys think. I want to hear in the comments what you think about Florida. Do you think Florida has a chance to go blue? Do you think it has a better chance to go blue than I'm giving it a coin toss right now? And even when I look at city by city, county by county, it's the numbers are just so close. And to try to, I would be dishonest if I said, oh yeah, it's going to go blue. It's going to go blue. I would be but to say it's going to go red too, yeah, I would feel just as dishonest. So I'm going to call it, let's call Florida a coin toss. Let's leave it there. I know it's still 26 days out and we could see something happen. I mean, she just recently opened some field offices in Florida, which is a good sign. And hopefully we get some more data. I'm not going to get any more private data on Florida. My data source is over with. But if we get more information, if she starts doing more campaigning in Florida, I think that's going to be the telltale sign. I think that will be, if we see that, then we can go, oh, okay, all right. So let's see over the next, 3 weeks, if she makes a couple of trips down to Florida, if she makes a trip to Texas and Florida, watch out. I mean, if she makes a trip to, I would love to see her do a 3-city swing in Texas and a 3 or 4 city swing in Florida. I would love to see that. Are we going to see that? I have no idea. But if we do see that, that will give you a huge indication. I mean, a huge indication of what's coming up. But again, let me know what you think. Thanks for joining the Dray Way. We're not done yet. I have something else to talk to you about. Hold on a second. I want to take some time to thank you for supporting the Dray Way and thank you for supporting this channel. It's like anything else. When you start off doing something, this is different for me than TikTok. It's a different format, and I'm getting used to it still. And some of you have been extremely kind. You're saying, "Hey, Drayton, great job. Hey, Drayton, great show," and that means a lot to me because I still feel like I'm learning and getting the hang of all this. But you guys have been extremely supportive, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And I hope you come back and watch the show every day, because that's kind of what I want to tell you is that I hope you notice over the next few weeks, the show is going to slowly get better and better. When I say better, hopefully a little bit more polished, a little bit more, I'm probably going to have a nice little intro and a nice little finish to kind of make it look a little bit more polished. And I think I'm going to be breaking the show into 3 segments instead of 2. And, 3 6 or 7 minute segments, 18 to 21 minute show, because a lot of you have asked me to make the show longer, which means instead of talking about a couple of things, I'm going to be probably talking about a 3rd thing. And since so many of you guys, men, have been so supportive, I'm probably going to add some men things at the end of the show that just have to go along with lifestyle and stuff like that. But, let me know in the comments, because like I said, you guys have been very supportive, whether it's from the guys or the girls. If you want to see something in the show on the regular, let me know, because I'm here for you guys. I want to make the show better for you, and I just want you to know I'm working on it. And I cannot tell you how proud I am that so many of you decided to stick around and watch every show. It means a lot. So from me to you, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me on the Dray Way. We are just 26 days out from the election. Please leave a comment and don't forget to join me tomorrow on the Dray Way. We'll see you later. Have a great day, everybody.